Now. Right, how's it going, folks? We're here live now on YouTube and Twitter. So I'm here with two musicians tonight. Liverpool and Glasgow, isn't it? Scott, you're from Glasgow.
No, Stirling, mate. Just outside. Half an hour.
Sterling. Oh, Jesus. Got it wrong, man. Got it wrong. So we got Shea from Liverpool and we got Scott from Stirling, you know. So we're obviously coming on after the game. I'll go to yourself, Scott. 4-0 tonight. Were you expecting that result?
Seriously, I don't think anybody was expecting that. I don't even think Neil Lennon was expecting that. Honest to God. Like, how often you ever seen Celtic going to Rugby Park and having a comfortable 4-0 win on that AstroTurf? I don't think that's the same team as what I've been watching for the last few months. They're imposters.
I think the last time we went there and hammered Kilmarnock, I think it was like a 5-2 game. Chris Commons got a hat-trick. We wore the yellow jerseys.
I can't mind that one, but the one I'm remembering is the one that won the league going on, 9 years ago. That's the only time I can, in my mind, remember us beating Kilmarnock so comfortably. Like, that was unbelievable that night.
But when you looked at the team that went out, obviously John Joe was gonna start. He said that he was in contention to start anyway. So I'm going to move the camera over so he's going to actually see me displaying cameras. It's a disaster. What do you think of it, Shea? Is Scouse the man actually playing for Celtic?
To be fair, and there's been a few anyway, hasn't there, who's played for Celtic, Alan Stubbs being one of them. I just hope he kicks on now. Like, he looked good today. He looked really comfortable, considering he's only just been thrown in and he's only had one training session with the team. So it's good to see his fellow scouts are playing for Celtic, but it's good to see him have a good game as well. There's clearly a talent there. You know.
Did you put a word in before he came up? Did you?
Yeah, I rang him before, didn't I? You've got to, I was saying no, don't go there. It's a disaster at the minute. No, he was.
That's it. Like 3 points of Vinny's on Shea's tab. And that's it. Well, you know what? Broony's goal was a nice goal. He took it well, considering like the shit he took in the last couple of days, the sending off at Livingston. So what did you think of it, Scott?
Again, that's a totally different player to who you've been seeing for the last couple of months. It looked like he was back to what he had been like the season before. But even at that as well, he's scoring a header. Have you ever seen Scott Brown score a header? The last time we were at Kilmarnock, scored the goal to win. Well, what folk were saying was to win the league. It was a scuffed ball, hit the deck, bump. But now he's scoring headed goals. What's that about? We can't get our own strikers to do that, and he's doing that for the holding position. Mad, man.
Yeah, it was a nice cross. You know what? Christie actually played all right tonight. I wasn't frustrated with him, Shea. I thought it was like, he's gonna be a scuff. Christie as he's been the last 12 or 14 games.
He annoys the life out of me, honestly. He absolutely annoys. Like I every time I'm watching it, every time he gets the ball, I'm just going, well, Rosed's getting hit now. You know what I mean? And it's just I've never seen a more inconsistent player. The talent's there. Like he can score great goals. He can link up play, and he's a talent. But I've never seen anyone be so inconsistent. It's amazing. It's amazing. Like it's either a really, really good game or a really, really bad game. There's no in between with them.
You feel like you actually need somebody with like a better mentality beside him, an older player, to kind of talk him through the game sometimes when he is taking shots like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he goes loose as well. Like you see him, like if he loses the ball, he'll be out of position. He'll be chasing down lost causes, and I don't know. Like on his day, he can be class, and then then there's another side to him as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, Scott. I've asked a few of the lads this in the last couple of days. Is he good enough to go on the plane or on the bus, on the boogie bus down to Wembley?
Christie.
Scotland for the Euros.
Definitely. Like,
yeah.
Again, he needs somebody beside him to talk him through a game, I think. There was a Scotland-Serbia game. He done everything right for me. He's chased down when he needed to chase down. As the big man says, as she says, he wasn't chasing like lost causes. He was using his energy well. He's hit the shot for the goal. He's kept it low and hard. I've never seen him hitting a shot low and hard in my life either. As the big man says, it's normally right on the bar, and one in 36 or something end up in the back of the net. But he's definitely got the talent. He just needs to talk through the game a bit better. I think that comes from the management as well, though. Yeah.
I think he's in for a bit of panic when Jamesy gets back in contention. I know James is back in training, but it's only light training at the moment, Shea.
Yeah, I think we've missed Forrest massively. Like, I know a lot of Celtic fans can get on his back, but the man's a legend to me. He's done it season after season, and he could have the worst game in a Celtic jersey and still get an assist and a goal. Like, that's just the sort of player he is. But like, you just miss the link up that he brings on the right. Like, and he's a natural winger. Like, Christie's not a natural winger. He's a attacking midfielder. So to have Forrest back would be a great thing. But we have missed him massively this season.
He brings something else to the team.
I'm going to talk to you about Edouard. 4 goals in 2 games, so he's on a bit of form at the moment.
Oh, you know what? He's world class in my opinion. I think a lot of this, like towards the start of the season, I felt a bit sorry on him. He was getting a lot of the stick. He was a bit of a scapegoat sometimes. But the man, he gets the ball and he gets crowded up by 5 players, and people expect him to do something magic. And sometimes he does, but sometimes you just can't expect it. And a lot of people lay into him about his body language, but I just think that's just how he is. He's just a laid-back player. He doesn't look like the player. He's not like Kamala who's going to go and chase down centre half. So he gets the ball, he links up play. But I think he's on a bit of form, and it might just be that he's looking for the move in the summer, so he needs to be on a bit of form as well.
Do you not think though that Eddy playing next to him today, that he's got another option there? He's able to drop into the position that he normally plays, and he's not the focal point. Exactly,
and that's the thing as well. Like with something's definitely happened with Griffiths and Lennon as well. Because 100% something's happened. But with Eddy, I thought he didn't play too well in the first half, but second half he really come into it a lot more, and the link-up play was a lot better. And Eddy, he'll score goals when he will score goals. It's just sometimes I understand frustrations around him, but he's a world-class player. He really is.
Hopefully rest and sorrow was a good thing, so we can get him going for the weekend against Motherwell. Big time. Like, I know Brown done well tonight. Brown obviously got an assist and a goal. But as I said, Scott Brown hasn't been the man that we all expected this season. Best game he had was against Hearts besides tonight. Scott.
Aye, definitely. Again, though, I don't know if it's the fact that you're sitting there, and it looks to me like it's the full team's mismanaged. Because if you look back at what happened last weekend, the Christie hitting that shot and shouting back at the bench, and it was happening every now and again that somebody in the park was kind of looking at the bench as if to say, what are you talking about, kind of thing. That, I don't know, Scott Brown, people are trying to do the Scott Brown's done. They've been doing that for years now. Do you know what? He probably is getting slower. He isn't doing the same role. It's what Sorrow's coming in, young with energy. But he's still got something to give, Scott Brown, anyway. There's still energy in the tank for him, yeah.
I agree with you. I think he showed today just how good he can be on his day, and we've missed him this season. He's been an empty jersey, and a bit. His discipline's been lacked a little bit as well. It's like today he looked solid. He ran the game well, dominated the midfield, and I think he'll start on the weekend. I don't think Sorrow's got. I don't think Lennon will start. I want Sorrow to start, but I think with Lennon's history, he will start Brown on the weekend.
The only way you could see Brown Sorrow coming in is if Brown stays and he maybe takes Turnbull out of the team. I think maybe moves McGregor further forward.
You can't take Turnbull out though.
That's the only way I could see him getting out the team though. Do you know? I couldn't see him.
Did you see Turnbull's flick at the first half? John Joe gave it to Turnbull. I was literally towards the side of the line, and he just flicked it past the Kilmarnock player, like over his head. It was like, see you later. Like, but Turnbull's been class, you know, really. Yeah, again, I know we're a lot of fans that were calling for him at the start of the season. Scott, would you put him in the Scotland senior squad for the Euros, though? I know he's playing for the 21s at the moment.
I don't know. They're talking about the boy Gilmore getting into the team. What's wrong with Turnbull going in the team? Like, Gilmore's obviously playing with Chelsea, but he's not getting a regular game anymore. And Turnbull's showing you week in, week out now with Celtic. He's basically carrying the team.
I was watching clips of the Man United games tonight as well, with the Celtic game, and Armstrong played actually quite well. He's actually pushed up quite well. I know they got hammered by United, but still put a shift in.
That Southampton team looks alright, by the way.
They're not bad.
Armstrong's playing well in that team that he's got, and he's getting him that free role like he had at Celtic, and like playing the number 10. But he's drifting in and out to the left, the right, and he's looking good. Like looks like that player that we had.
I was gonna say to you, look at what do you think? It should have been the balls across the line for Kilmarnock.
Nah.
Shea, did you see that?
Yeah, I don't think it was it? I think
not a chance. It's on the line.
Looking at the post, you can I think you can see the ball still not clearly over. So that's the thing as well with Scottish football. We don't have the technology. Like we don't have VAR. We don't have goal line technology.
Andy Walker was trying to kick the ball in the back of the net with his commentary. Oh, it might be in. It might be in. Get a rest, mate.
I think it looked across the line. Like at the end of the day, it's a clean sheet for Scott Bain. We need a bit of confidence in there. New keeper. I know Barkas is there, and people are backing Barkas to come good. I've came out and said I think he will come good. Mate, it's just been a tough year for a lot of people, regardless of what you work as. You know, you know most people out there. These are two musicians. These are used to gigging. 2 or 3 times a week, lads? Maybe 4 times a week. So, what I'm going to ask you is, I'm going to start with Shea. Shea, obviously you gig in Liverpool and stuff like that. I know you've done a few gigs over in the last couple of months when things kind of softened down in Liverpool to different levels. Was it weird going back out again?
Oh, it was weird. It was good to just be back, but it's not the same at all. And like, even just a simple thing like the bar was technically full but looked half empty because of all the restrictions in place, and my money got cut and my gigs got cut. So it was one of them. It was just like, is it even worth going back? I'm not even earning as much as I did, and it's just I had to get another job myself just to tie myself over. But it was good to be back, but it's just not the same. You need to be fully back.
Shea, see, just talking about there, like, see if the bar's no full, you kind of lose a bit of the buzz for it as well, eh?
Oh, 100%. And also with everyone's got to have a meal as well, so you can't to play. People are... You can't
be trusting people. Can't be trusting people with your points anymore as well. You don't know where that one's at.
You know, as well, if I play shit, they've got ammunition to fucking throw at me as well. You know what I mean?
Big bit of naan bread flying over it.
Poor pies, you know, getting laughed at me.
What's like? Have you done any gigs at all, Scott, up in Glasgow or even Stirling? Has it been? Even I know Sturgey's having a bit of a lockdown on everything. She is up there.
Mate, the last time I kicked a ball, played a guitar played in a pub was St Patrick's Day, and I went from Aberdeen to Dundee and to Stirling all on the same day, and that was my last shout, and I don't see it coming back anytime soon. Like, but see if it's back for the back of the summer, August. That's going to be a blessing, but I really can't see it. I went to Derry, couple of months, in between it kind of softening up, and there was live music still happening. There was people behind screens, and all right, it is what it is, and the boys were getting paid. You'd accept that for a wee while, but you're dying for it to get back to what it used to be like. You see old videos and that. Like, I was watching some of Shea's earlier, and like the pub's been full, and you just miss that buzz. Like, it is. It's, that big man's talking about money and that. There, the money has got a bit to do with it. Well, with the volume of gigs you play. But see, if you were to get, I don't know, 2 gigs a weekend that were absolutely bouncing, you wouldn't bother with the rest of it.
No, 100%. I agree. I agree with Scott massively there. But as I said, it's crazy what we're actually going through.
Oh no!
As musicians as well, we've been like left in the dark about everything. We don't get told anything as well. Like, there's no like there was no
specifics.
Yeah, with the lockdown in which happened in the start of January. No one knew that was coming. No, like, it just got announced. Like, and all these bars I was meant to be playing in, they all bought, you know, stock of booze for New Year and stuff, and that's all going to go to waste as well. But it's so mad to think that it's got to this point now where Like myself, I've had to find another job. I've had to, just to get an in. And even when the gigs were back, they just weren't the same. They're not fun to play. It's like
it feels like a job.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Well, this is like, you are talking about the pubs, and then we're thinking to ourselves, holy fuck, like Celtic fans, there's obviously the controversy the last 3 or 4 months since it's got really bad after the last game.
No.
How are they going to sell season books if they can't even get the stadium even 30% full while there's restrictions? Like, is it worth it?
I was hearing yesterday that that JP Taylor was saying that the way that they've got it sorted out for Celtic Park now, see if they're able to get fans back in, they're able to sort it so it's socially distanced to 25,000.
Oh, that was all, yeah.
And what they're saying about we're going to give a significant discount on your season ticket for next year, but what's significant to the club though? You don't know what the kind of discount's going to be for that, yeah. You do. I know you didn't want.
Is it going to be? Is it going to be a requirement there? Literally, you have to be vaccinated getting into these stadiums now. Is that going to be a requirement as well? Because the way everything's going in the world.
You wouldn't think so, because you're not vaccinated for walking through Morrison's and you're meant to be socially distanced, But
I feel like we will bring in that rule though, like just as a bit of legislation just for the stadium, so that everyone can follow them rules. But with the vaccines, like my mum's had it, and she hasn't been given like a card. Like people are saying, like a vaccine card to say you had it and stuff. She's got like a piece of paper to say she's had it, and I don't know how they're going to go about it in the future. But with the fans, I do hope, to be fair, even if you get 25,000 in just to voice their opinions, it's going to be. The Celtic players have got a lot to deal with when the fans are back as well.
I don't know about yourself, big man, but I think we've been missing the fans. I think you can tell.
Even at away games as well, because you look at us at away games, we fill three stands sometimes. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like some of them away, and even like playing against Rangers at home in October, with our fans then, it would probably like to be in a different story. But it's
just you're expecting a different reaction for the players. But I've been saying this to my pals. Is like, I think that the team that we've got have got a lot of big game players in it. That actually, a big game, they'll feed off the crowd, because the crowd can make a big game what it is, don't they? Yeah. I think that's what we're missing there.
It's even in the summer, getting rid of the likes of Simirovic and Lustig and Gordon, like they just. I don't understand why we got rid of them players. Like they should have given them contracts, because Simirovic would have done a job, Lustig would have done a job, Gordon would have definitely done a job. Like considering the keeper crisis we have on our hands at the minute.
Yeah.
I'm just happy that tonight he did put in a good performance, but like hopefully we aren't fighting for second. Hopefully we are guaranteed second, but it's never guaranteed.
It'd be a desperate tale, won't it, at the end of the season, saying, Jesus Christ, we just scraped second place and we were screaming for 10 in a row this season.
Well, we're lucky that Livingston's went and beat Aberdeen tonight.
100%.
You know what? I came out on Saturday night and I said, I really believe this, and people are laughing at me, but I really believe we can go to Ibrox and get a result against them before the end of the season. I know I'm not saying we're going to win the league. No, the league's out of our hands, but I really believe that we could actually do them in the last 2 fixtures.
I think we're going to batter them. I think that game in start January, we battered them all game. They didn't have a shot on target and they still won the game. That just shows the luck we've had all season, and the performance we put in there. If we put the same performance in at home or at Ibrox, 100% we'll batter them, as long as no one gets sent off in a stupid way. And I really do think we will beat them in both derbies. It's one of them. Like the league was gone ages ago, but just hopefully we get second. That's the big concern now, isn't it?
You want to put a challenge in though, yeah?
Yeah.
So when it were falling down.
Yeah, 100%. It's one of them though. Like I think the players, you can see in the body language that they know the league's gone. Like the manager knows, Lennon knows it's gone. But I still, honestly, I don't like seeing that man in the dugout. It still frustrates me. Even winning tonight, I was happy we won, but still seeing him in the dugout just baffles me.
I think the club's making out to be a punch bag, to be fair, because they're not wanting to take the punches themselves. and they'll just keep them in there because that's the focal point. Everybody's going to hate on Lennon when they're actually, it's been detrimental to his, I think I've just made up a word there, it's killing his legacy at Celtic.
It is, but you know what, he's killing himself as well. Like,
Aye.
I 100% understand that. I don't understand actually that they've put him in the firing line and just let him take all the abuse he's got and everything off the fans and off pundits and the media and stuff. But he's done it himself with some of his press conferences and some of his post-match interviews. I've never seen the man say it was my fault, it was my team I selected, or it's my fault why these players are playing the way they are. He's never accepted blame for anything. And this whole thing, like when he got asked about his job in January and with the season going on, he replied with like, "We've just won a quadruple treble."
Cynical.
That's all he says to everything, though, to be honest, Shea. And you can see his press conferences. It's irritating to watch. Like he was asked the other day, the media asked him, said, "Look, obviously, Low Peter's on the way with the door. Are you have attention as well? Your plan is to go with Peter?" And he's like, he didn't even say yes or no. He had to be stubborn about like. I think there'd be chaos if he stays on next season. There'd be absolute murder.
They'll see at the end of the year. They'll definitely see at the end of the season. They'll not change it now. I don't think they will. Especially if we play like we've played tonight and maybe get the odd results, they're not going to change it because there's new guys coming in the summer. Your man Mackay, when he comes in, he's going to want his own manager in, or if they're talking about director of football, exact same thing. He's not going to want another manager in now. He's going to need to sack again and hand it another favour. Not a chance. He's going to be there.
I agree. He will be there till the end of the season, but it would not surprise me in the slightest if he's still here next year. Just the way
he's on a roll. He's on a rolling contract. He is. He's on 2.3 million a year. It's fucking crazy. Absolute crazy money for him. Like what? Like I don't think he's going to get a job ever in Scottish football or UK football ever again after this.
Just CV as well. Like when he got given a job, like imagine someone turned up for a job interview, and they go to you, "Oh, I got sacked in my last job. I got sacked from the job before. I fell out with everyone in the last club. I fell out with everyone in the club before that." And you give them the job there and then. And I just don't. It just doesn't make sense. Any workplace in the world would not have accepted that. I don't understand why he got the job in the first place. But it's gone now, isn't it? We just got to deal with what's happening now.
I think you've always kind of got to give him his due for when he actually came in as interim manager. Up to that point, winning the Scottish Cup, that was fine. He done well, done what he had to do, got the job done. See, then the club should have put him to the side and says, "Look, we're going to interview other men for the job." But they never. They went and done as they talk about in the shower, telling him he's got the job. How unprofessional is that for meant to be the most professional club in the country?
Not even just that, they've given him like nearly 30 million to spend on players in the past 2 seasons as well. So they haven't just hired him, they went, "Oh yeah, we're going to hire, but we're going to give you more backing than we give Rodgers," which is crazy as well. So it baffles me.
I was going to say, Shea, who would you honestly take in? Who would be your number one?
It's one of them, because I think you've got to
be realistic.
Realistically, I want someone like Lampard or Eddie Howe, but mainly because you're building for the long term then. Because if you bring in the likes of Rafa Benitez, I think he's more of a short-term fix than anything, because the man hasn't stayed at a club longer than 2 years in the past. Like how long he's been a manager for? The past 10 years or so. He's been at like 5 different clubs or something. And you want someone who's going to stay at the club, who's going to build from scratch and bring all these new players in. And I think Lampard would be the most ideal. I think Eddie Howe would be my preference. I prefer Eddie Howe, but I think Lampard's the more realistic one.
That's so.
I've been saying this a few times. Go ahead, Scott. Sorry,
that still sounds stupid for me. But see, talking about a new manager coming in, the best. Us guys don't know what to do inside the dressing room. They know what to do at training, how they work. Everybody's got different ways about it. They've got to interview the candidates and get the right one, and that's the most pressure they'll have had is hiring this candidate and whoever it's going to be, because Rodgers coming in, that was a favour for him to Dermot Desmond.
Yeah,
everybody knows that's the story for that one. So how can they know they're bound to just go and sort this, clean it, get rid of all the Deadwood in the team as well? And as the big man says, see getting in Rafa Benitez, boys like that have spent money all their career as well. Like he's been at Real Madrid. What, is he going to come to manage Celtic? I know that folks say it's pie in the sky, but it's not.
He made a shambles in Madrid, though. He was shite in Madrid. Like he was actually all right at Inter. He steered the ship at Chelsea.
He's still getting money to spend in the clubs. He's getting millions and millions.
Yeah, 100%. And you know what, as well, I think you need a manager to come in who's got connections to clubs to bring in players. Because with the likes of Lennon doesn't have that caliber where he can convince a player to come and sign for Celtic. Like he doesn't have that. Like with the likes of, say, Lampard, he's a big name in football. Like any player, if some Lampard comes calling for you, you're gonna go, well, I want to go and play under him. Or even Benitez, if Benitez comes, look at his record, and you want to come and play for him. Lennon just doesn't appeal to a lot of players, in my opinion. But hopefully we do get him. I was also the rumours for that. What's his name? The ex-Leipzig manager. What's his name? Ralph Ragnick or something.
Ralph Rye.
Yeah.
He would be the dream manager, really, with like his history at Leipzig and bringing him through the youth and working on a lower budget and stuff. I think he'd be the best candidate, but I doubt he'd come to Celtic.
That's it. It's this new chief executive. If we don't get a director of football, it's up to Mr. McKay to come in and actually sell the product to these candidates. And you know what? Like, if we were still in contention of the league, if we were 6 points or 9 points in it, I think down at the end of the season, towards the end of the season, we'd get a good chance of getting a good person in. It's the only thing that benefits us if we do get second place is we actually have a chance of getting European football, the Champions League. And as you know, Celtic rely on Champions League football. That's how we get our so-called bring our players through and sell them for big money.
See your record in Champions League qualifiers. It's been horrendous in the last few years.
I'm telling you, we should. I know. Oyer's probably going to laugh at this. We should literally give Oyer an extension for 1 more year, double his wages, double his wages, whatever he's on, 20, 25 grand. Let him stay here, be captain for next season. If we get into that Champions League and we make value on him, get him up to 25 million, 30 million, we're laughing. Because he has calibre to be a good fucking player.
I think he's
Look at the players that we've got there now that we've just let go. And Cham away to Marseille for
that's where you got the jersey from, eh?
But the 4.5 million was the fee that we paid for him at the time. So if we're a club that's a selling club, you're not going to sell it for the same figures what you've bought him for. And I don't care what anybody says about the Frimpong money. That lad has regressed in his career over the last season because we should be getting more for what he is. He's a totally better player than what this season's made him out to be, in my opinion, anyway.
If you have Man City youth on your CV, you should be going for good. And unfortunately, Paddy Roberts didn't work out for him, but Frimpong, like, I think obviously good deal, but we should have bought a right back out of it. I know we got John Joe to the end of the season. That should be bought on a player. We don't even know where Alhamid to be at the end of the year. I'm more nervous. I'm more nervous about the trim of the squad in the summer than getting a manager in, to be honest. With this right.
100%. I think it's gonna be so many new faces in next year. I'll go. I don't want him to go personally, but he will go because it's being talked about for the past year or so, and he'll go for big money. Edouard will go for big money, and it's just a case of just investing that back into the squad. It's like whether they do what, I don't want them to start buying like 1 million players who like a Bolingoli and it's just a waste of money. He's just went off on loan. He's playing Champions League football. You know what I mean? How does that work?
Yeah, he's injured now. He's injured at the end of the season. But he had a couple of sly digs. He had a couple of sly digs at Celtic on his Instagram story.
Honestly,
exactly.
Honestly, I just hope they invest the money wisely in the summer and get the business done early. Don't wait till the end of August to get signings and get it done. Like, they should be knowing the targets now. I can't see them spend like 12 to 14 million in this window coming up in the summer. What they done the last summer window, I can't see it unless they sell players
and put it back into the squad. That's the only way it's going to happen.
See, she was talking there about selling the likes of Edouard and Ayer. See the way we're playing now? I don't think we'll get the same money as what we would if we'd sold them at the end of last season. I know you want
100%, yeah, definitely.
But you didn't think they'd regress this far back where you're going to get a fraction of what you should have been getting for them. And that money could be then invested into getting a whole new team in. You could get rid of all the Deadwood that's sitting there. You've got likes of Tom Rogic, right? I don't care what anybody says, but Tom Rogic has been a good player. He has been a good servant, but he's too inconsistent for me. So how should he be at the level of Celtic where he's sat? What is it? 7 years he's been here for.
Yeah, he's only played three decent games, and that was against Milan in the first half away. Aberdeen, the Bataudry, Scottish Cup final. That was about it. He hasn't really sparked any more games. All right against Lille.
I've ever seen at Celtic. I've never seen. The man has so much talent. You see it. You see him, glimpse of him, and he's world class. And I've just never seen any he's worse than Christie with his inconsistency. It's unreal.
But the thing about it as well, though, is see as a club of Celtic. Again, you talk about a selling club and all that. You want players like that to come in and either go forward with their career. If they do, it's not as if we've held on to him because he's that great a player. You can't hold on to
him. When we really went to Qatar at the end of the season, last season or the start of the season, and people were relieved that we kept him. I know he played a couple of games, but same time we're like, Jesus, he's not consistent.
That's the emotion of football, though, is the people doing that. Remember Zenit putting the bid for him, or allegedly putting the bid for him? They should have went then.
Yeah.
40 million at the time. Same good money as well we were offered.
Same with Beaton as well. Beaton, we got offered like 10 million or something about 2 or 3 seasons ago for Beaton. And never. And he's another one that frustrates me. A lot of Celtic fans like him for some reason, and I don't understand why. He's the slowest player at the club. He's the slowest passer of the ball I've ever seen. There's a lot of deadwood at the club that need to go, like Beaton, Rogic, as you said. And I think a lot of players will go in the summer. But I just think we need to invest the money back in and also bring through the youth as well. There's not many young players coming through this. It's all Welsh.
Do you know what? Look at Welsh tonight. Welsh played outstanding.
Oh, we did.
But do you think he's really going to make it Celtic, realistically?
With a good centre half beside him, he can learn a lot, I reckon. But
the next 6 months we've no way. That's
exactly. So he's got his chance now, hasn't he? To prove that why he should be a starter at Celtic.
Definitely.
That's it. If he just keeps playing and see what happens, whoever comes in might give him a chance. As you said, a Rafa Benitez, he won't give him a chance. Like a Lampard could walk around him. Eddie Howe might give him a. The reason why he keeps saying I won't go for Eddie Howe is because he's second man in charge for the last 8 years, whatever he was in management with Bournemouth and Broony. He's now the manager of Bournemouth now. So I don't know if Eddie Howe is still going to be still caliber man. People are saying who'd you take this person? You want the staff as well. We have to pay off the likes of Strachan and Kennedy. They have to pay them off to get the right man, because it'd be an absolute another disaster if Kennedy gets the assistant job again next season.
I reckon with Kennedy, though, you can offer him to go back down the way. That's the only other way you can get him to actually maybe walk. But obviously that's boardroom level, that stuff.
Yeah, I think with Kennedy, it's a sympathy job, isn't it? He was at Celtic and ended his career early and got given was he under 18s or something, and then just worked his way up from there. But with the likes of I think Kennedy does get a lot of stick, and I understand he's meant to be this defensive coach, but I don't know. I don't think. I mean, the whole management team is to blame. Strachan as well. I don't understand the laptop. That still baffles me. It's the only club I've seen sitting there on the bench with a laptop. I've never seen.
You see in the rugby, you see in the Six Nations, but Jesus Christ on the fucking sidelines.
You seen the view? Apparently, it's because it gives you the full panoramic view of the park. You can see the space. I'm not justifying it, but that's what they've got it there for. Yeah. He's not played Football Manager.
I understand you use technology to its advantage, 100%. When all three of them are looking at the same screen,
definitely.
Well, what's all that about? Makes me laugh. Like
It's like
I think it's
only fools and horses or something like.
I think it's fucking funny tonight because I was looking at Twitter when after Scott Brown scored, and a lot of them were still like, saying, "Is Broony back now? Broony back?" And a lot of them were couple of arseholes last week that were on me Instagram. One lad turned around and said, "Sack Scott Brown." It's like, how could you sack a captain that's played 600 times for the club and won over 22 honours for one bad performance?
Wouldn't it surprise me if he drops into the backroom team with a new manager, whoever it is?
I'd love to see.
Yeah, I'd love to
see.
But again, it's up to whoever the new manager is as well. But it kind of keep that consistency in the dressing room. Boys in the dressing room would know to go and talk to him as well. It could be like a kind of in between, a liaison between the manager and the players. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, lads. There's obviously an interview. Paul John Dyke's done an interview with Mark Hughes. I haven't watched it yet, and Mark Bowen. Now, obviously, them lads have worked at Man City. They've worked at Stoke, Southampton, clubs like that. Would you take Mark Hughes?
I would. He's a commanding presence. That's maybe what these players are needing. I know people are saying that about Lennon, that he's a kind of old school manager, but surely Mark Hughes has got more pedigree than what Lennon's had.
I personally...
It makes me sick though that Roy Keane has better odds than Mark Hughes for the Celtic job.
Roy Keane won't need punditry. I can't see that happening. Everyone knows who he is, and he's probably getting so much money because of how controversial he is. I don't think he'll leave punditry. And with Mark Hughes, I think Mark Hughes again is another like short-term fix. I think he needs a manager who's going to build something special at the club. Like, he needs someone who's going to come in with a look towards the future and build towards that, not someone who's going to come in and look towards just that season. Because like now the 10's gone, why not build for another 10 now? You know what I mean? Like,
I think the two cheapest options Celtic could look at, the two cheapest options, to be honest, which is I'd say Jack Ross or Paul Lambert. That's the cheapest they're going to go.
Paul Lambert is a disaster.
Neither of the two, though. I know Jack Ross is getting touted for going into big things, but as Shea says earlier on, you're wanting somebody that's got contacts. What contacts has Jack Ross really got outside of Scottish football? Obviously, he was at Sunderland, but that's
what's his
mad tatter.
Catamore off Sunderland when he was there.
The boy Honeyman.
We need someone like that in the back. We need someone like that in the midfield.
It feels like we've got the likes of Jack Rodwell in the team now. You watched that the Sunderland documentary, the first season? It was.
Yeah.
It's like that. Jack Rodwell was in that dressing room right through. He's taking the huff all the time. You can see that with the players sometimes that we've got. We need somebody to get the fan.
I love if we done one on Celtic. Imagine the shit behind the scenes in Lennox Town. You'll actually get to see the real Peter Lawwell on action.
So even looking in the comments there, seeing someone mention Larsson. I know Larsson's at Barcelona as number 2, but not. I'd love to see him at this club in the future. Not even maybe not as a manager, but even as a coach or something. Like he'd be. Like, he knows the club inside out. He knows the league and everything. I wouldn't obviously take him now. I just mean for the future, because obviously he's a legend, and I think he's a smart man, and he's got connections as well. You know what I mean? He will have connections.
You want to go right through that Barca.
He would turn down a great of Henrik Larsson, like a fucking. He'd be like, "Oh Jesus, they should have built a statue here on the Celtic way. They 242 goals for this club."
That'll come.
With that and Fergus McCann. Scott Brown needs a statue as much as I.
You're at it.
Give everyone a statue.
Broony needs one.
Give everyone one.
Put you with the Dublin Castle outside.
That's it. Me with Olivia in each arm with the Marseille jersey on. Do you think he has a future? Do you think he has a future at Celtic? Be honest, lads.
No, I think he gets sold in the summer. But it was. I tell you what, I felt dead sorry on him, but I was also laughing as well because imagine signing for a club and he's obviously Enchan's been wanting out of the club for a while. Signing for the club and then the manager goes, "I want to leave because we've just signed." Imagine that happening.
It's irony. It's best, isn't it?
It's the funniest thing. I'm dead sorry on him as well because look
at Brendan Rodgers. Look at what happened with Brendan Rodgers. Brendan Rodgers didn't want Marvin Compere, and then when he was at Liverpool, he didn't want Balotelli. And Boyles was like, "Fuck that! I'm not taking the champ. Fuck that."
That was funny, though.
See if you've seen what's been happening at Marseille with them trashing the training ground and all that, by putting the gates in, and the thing that makes the manager leave is because he's getting a Celtic player in on loan. That's mad. Like,
honestly, that made me laugh because even that, like, I understand his point of view as well about it. Like, the club are making signings without me even knowing, and I understand that. But surely, as a manager, you'd be happy that the club are just, throwing players at you, saying his talent, like, to go and do what you want with it. But I understand the frustration, but I felt dead sorry. But I was also laughing as well, just because it's just funny.
He doesn't need to play him, surely. Do you know? He's got him in. He doesn't need to go in jam, even if it wasn't in his list. Ken, what, you're in the reserves or something. But he's took half, isn't he?
How like did he not know that we were signing in champ? Like, you know what I mean? How did he not know? How does a manager not know about that?
I thought we would be getting about 10 million for this lad. I was convinced Marseille or Lyon or something like that would have actually bought this fucker for 10 million because he's French and he's actually quality. But he hasn't been happy at Celtic for 2 years. I think that time when he came back from the French team, the under-21s, he gave an article to obviously the top football magazine in France saying that he's too good for Celtic. He wants a challenge. He doesn't rate the Scottish League. And then obviously Lennon pulled him aside. Lennon got a good bit of decent football out of him in some spells of that season. Obviously, we think of that Lazio game where you were the streaker at full time on the pitch.
There's meant to be photos of me and Lennon standing at the side. Get on there.
That's you and Gianni ripped up and Rams did.
See that comment that said, by the way, I totally agree with what the guy's saying as well. That Kenny, I think Mark Hughes would come in and maybe do something. I don't know much about the boy Mark Bowen. I don't really know much.
He's second man in charge. He's been second man in charge with him for all the job he's done. So I'm gonna watch that when I finish this Celtic State of Minds. Paul Doohan's his interview with him, because if he talks well about Celtic, I'll be putting a sneaky tenner on him.
I've put money on him already because I was talking about him a couple of weeks ago.
I heard you put $1,000 on Paul the team together.
He's still saying Lennon out for Sunday.
Lennon should have.
He put it in the post on Saturday night.
Lennon should have been out after Hibs.
Trying to be in the know.
Lennon should have been out after the 2-2 against Hibs. That's when the league was completely fucked. That's when it was all shambles then. But if the club even dare release a DVD of this season, they'll fucking be shot.
Nah, no chance of that, man. Nobody's got DVD players anymore. Me and the big man's here to promote a CD, and nobody's got a CD player.
Yeah. So Scott, what type of music you play? What type of music you play just before
I've got a CD here. Do you want to see it? There we go.
Yeah, go on, shows, go on, yeah.
If you've got a CD
Days
player,
and Sander Pons on the rip.
I've got mine here as well. One of mine.
Shea has his. Where's the Scotland jersey, Scott, that the Scotland team sent you?
Oh, it's away, mate. It's in the cupboard. It's away in a nice box, mate. That's some buzz, that, like.
You're going to go down, you're going to go down to Wembley for it?
I'd probably go to an empty stadium. They'll probably not be letting anybody in by then, man. I can't see it. I've booked it right enough.
You'll have to get it. I'll be supporting the Scots in the Euros for you. We'll be backing you to do well. Shea, will you back the Scots?
Always back the Scots. Anyone but England down here. Even us Scousers, we don't really hate England as well. So us Scousers support anyone. We'll support Wales, Scotland, anyone who's not England. We'll support.
I remember watching a. Remember the game that Pirlo done the chip against England, the penalty kicks?
Oh yeah.
I remember watching that in Ibiza with this Scouse couple, and all the English were going mental. Going off their nut, and they're like, "Oh, the Italians are quite good. I like it. They're not bad then. That'll do it."
That was amazing. I do remember, but everyone who watched it, won't it?
Oh, what?
No, I think the Iceland win was even better, to be honest.
Oh,
that was just a different level.
I've never seen a bigger meltdown. Like more of a meltdown than fucking us Celtic fans this year. Fans are going mad, rioting in the streets and that.
I was sitting in Tenerife that night in a restaurant, and I was watching it on my phone, and obviously final whistle went. I've never seen streams of people falling at a pub like this in my life. They were all going back home to the hotel just about crying their eyes out, man. Kids getting pushed to the ground. Oh, God bless, man.
It was Iceland as well. Like they weren't even tipped to make it out of the group stage.
People are going around with Iceland bags and all on wearing Iceland bags. Fucking guys.
Well, to be fair, I saw a lot of Iceland flags in Liverpool as well, which was quite funny. A lot of people were flying Iceland flags outside the houses and that, which is hilarious.
It's playing brilliant. I'm hoping to get off to Glasgow, and especially Liverpool. I haven't been off Liverpool since 2011, so I'll get over to Shea and have a session in Langans or fucking O'Neill's. It cost me a mortgage to go to O'Neill's. O'Neill's is like races, bleeding rip.
Don't worry, Keith. No one goes O'Neill's, honestly. No one artist goes O'Neill's anyway. Like,
if Pop World's still open, I'll go there. I will for the laugh.
Pop World's the one, Keith. Honestly, Pop World's the one on a night out.
And my favourite booze in Glasgow is the Brazen Head. I love the Brazen.
Oh, Brazen Head, the best spot in Glasgow, I think.
Quite out the road for me though, yeah.
You know, I know.
Back.
It's weird to think, lads, that like if this was like if we were actually going for the league, if we won, which we did win 4-0 tonight, we would have been like, yes, fucking get in, great result, buzzing about the performances. We're just like, yeah, it's just a win now. Let's just keep going on with it. I just wanted that's the way.
You know, as well, like even like everyone was saying, the league was lost in November and stuff and December. The league still could have technically been won in the start of January if we beat Rangers on that day and then went on a run of games and put pressure on them. The league could, like today, could have been a completely different view on the match. You know what I mean? But it's still, I don't know what it is. It's the draws and the terrible performances, and then even the start season, I was pissed off because Lennon, we were winning a game like 2-1 or something. Can't remember who it was against, and Lennon come out and said it was a great performance. It's like, what game were you watching? Like it was dire, and we were lucky to win it. Just the story of our season.
Right, lads. So, Shea, how much is your album?
My one is here. If anyone says,
English.
It's on Spotify and stuff. I know a lot of people don't have CD players anymore, but if anyone does have a CD player, then just get in contact with me and I'll send one up to you.
So what I'm going to do, folks, is I'm going to put the two of their links in the description after this video of their shop, and then you can buy it, or even direct mail Shea or direct mail Scott on Instagram, and they'll sort you out. You know, Scott McGill and Shea Doolin or Doolin, if you want to pronounce it like that.
Don't be wanting to buy for the players now after we've talked pish for the last half hour.
That's it. Scott, how much is your one?
Tenner, mate. Tenner.
That's
it's all Irish folk songs I've put on. The first one's one I've wrote myself. So I think it's a good listen myself, but it's up to everybody else. It's on Spotify as well.
I'll get onto it. I don't have a CD player, otherwise I would have bought one. I'm
gonna put pressure on the boat is now, right? So he's obviously done lineups of gigs in all types of music. What was the best lineup you were in with? Music act.
Music still,
yeah.
Mate, I've played after the Irish Brigade in Gracie's one Sunday. I've done that. I don't see, to be fair, see playing in pubs, I can't even remember half the time. Like see if it's local. You never know,
yeah. For me, it was probably Wolf Tones are probably up there. Like obviously the legends in the Irish music scene, so they're probably up there for me. And then even I don't know if anyone's ever heard of a band called The Hunter, but my band a couple of years ago supported them, and they're actually quite big now, so I was made up to support them. But no, definitely on personally, the Wolf Tones. Wolf Tones and Gary Oak.
Oh, the King of Kings, Gary Oak, loved that. Absolutely love him to bits.
One of the best on the scene. I think he probably is.
I think he's the best. I think he's the best. I think, boy, you could
really
listen.
Good, like.
That's it. Like even the one he done in Hamburg. Oh my god, unbelievable! And then obviously when he was with Erlog in the Brazen, then Tully's. It's them albums you'd never get sick of listening to. You'd listen to them all day.
First Rebel album I ever listened to was the old Live, the Brazen Head. That was the first album I ever listened to. And I've actually got the CD. I can't play it though. I don't have a CD.
But, I've no CD players, but I'll punt my own. That's the one I'm going with as well, mate.
Honestly, I wasn't even going to get CDs because, like, I just didn't see the point in them. But a lot of people were asking me for them, so I was like, and I understand that a lot of like the audience can range from. Like, I know a lot of people who are a lot older might still, like, even in the cars and stuff, like, just still see them in the car.
Definitely. I don't talk about Gary Oak there. Used to boys didn't get the. Obviously, no, I know. You just didn't get the luxury of going to see him. He's playing Glasgow every weekend. Like,
I know.
I've seen him playing Vinny's a few times. I've seen him play in Dublin as well.
See if you see him on like a Sunday night, a quiet Sunday night, you never. Obviously, Saturday nights or St Vincent's, you see it's bouncing, blah blah blah. But see if you see him just chilling out, playing away, it's unbelievable. Like some of the songs he comes away with, it's class. Like he's unbelievable.
Even the one he done. Is the one he done over in Belfast? Was it for the fella or something like that? He done She's a Belter now on stage.
I was at there in Falls Park when he done that. He done Belter, he done Lones of Boatman, he done Zombie Nation as well. Everyone went mad for it. But I saw them last year on the Brazen Head before the Copenhagen game, which was fucking obviously a annoying night as well. But that whole day was unreal. Like he was playing for a good 3 hours as well before the game. And he was outstanding, and the Brazen Head was packed, and that was the last gig I went to before the lockdown. I think it was the end of February, I think it was, or start of March, and it was amazing. And at the time, I remember thinking, "Oh, I'm fucking sweating here. It's hot in here. I miss it now." I'm fucking sweaty, you know?
I love the Brazen Heads. Unbelievable.
You miss coming away absolutely stinking of sweat, man. That's a buzz. Like
at the time, you're like, fucking hell, that was sweaty. I didn't like how many people in there, but now I'm like, fucking, I just want to be in the middle of just a big crowd, just having a laugh and enjoying yourself again. That's what I want to do, like. But hopefully this year.
Folk coming up and getting you shots for fun. That'll do me.
Well, I'll tell you the benefit.
100%. Because even that was another thing when the gigs were open in Liverpool. No one was allowed to buy you a drink. That was like when I was gigging before lockdown. Like you were getting drinks and shots bought for you all the time. It was like a free night out. You know what I mean?
Some laugh. Eh? Sometimes I can't even get home.
Shea, are you a Buckfast man, Shea?
I can drink Buckfast. Yeah, I think the only time I ever drink Buckfast is when I'm on the way to a Celtic game. Though, when I'm on the train up to Celtic Park, just a bottle of Buckfast on the train up and. That's me sorted, to be honest. But I don't drink it just like as a night out drink or not, or that's just like
big man in the freezer for a wee hour. Get it out of the freezer. You're cooking with gas, like that's what you're wanting.
I always have a bottle every time I go on a train up to Glasgow. But I'm a Guinness man, aren't I? Always drink a good Guinness. Right.
That's it. Well, I've had the pleasure of having the series on the page a few times. And I've enjoyed it, so hopefully we will get you back on again on doing lives, because I know at the moment he's always at tits. We see most of the time we see Scott on a Friday night or a Saturday night with his GA jersey on Instagram ripping up.
That's because Facebook's done me, mate. Every time I go on a Facebook, it starts to put a buzzing in the back of it, and everything else I've done, it's fine. It's just Facebook that's doing it to me, and I've had the messages for them before about copyright and all this rubbish. But if you're sitting strumming away, where's the copyright in it? I didn't get it.
Well, TikTok's the way forward for doing all that live. Like I've said to a few musicians that they need to go into TikTok and put up even a 30 or 40 second clip of them singing the song. It's a massive platform for you. Look at for example, you know who that girl Maeve Walsh. She's a phenomenal artist. She's from Cork and she's flying on TikTok.
She's a great singer, isn't she? She's class. I only discovered her through the lockdown. I think with a lot of musicians. Like, that's probably been the positive to come out of lockdown. It's the last years and opening up to a bigger audience and stuff, and the likes of Scotland now as well, and myself. Like, it helps you out a lot. And thanks very much to you as well for letting us on, because it has helped us out a lot as well.
I look at it's helped people, and at the end of the day, it's good to see people say, "Oh Jesus, that person came on last night, was brilliant." You know, if it's a platform for you to get user names out there and sell a sneaky fucking album or two, I don't mind. You know that way.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, as I said, I've met some legends through this, and I used to have actually never reject to say, I can't come on. You'll always make an effort to come on to the page, and no, there's no, you don't let me down, and I'm happy in that way. So we keep going, but we all have one thing in common. We're hurting at the moment, but you know what? We're gonna be back next season. So we're just on a bad vacation at the moment.
With the pubs open, Celtic Park open, and the pubs open, that'll do me.
Yeah, that's the thing as well. Drown our sorrows this season, have we? Like, we have a chance to go to a pub and listen to some Celtic music and just have a bevy and just, you know, we haven't had the chance to do that. That's been worse as well. You know, sitting around watching shite on the telly and just being like. You can't have that crowd. You can't sit there in the booze and have a moment. Your best mate and say, "For fuck's sake, we were absolutely shite tonight. Like, I'm going to the bar. I'm getting Jack Daniels, and that's the end of it." You don't have that feeling. Smash thing and saying going over so just on the stage with someone.
It's come to the stage where you're getting bored of sitting at home. You're having so much fucking Guinness, and you're on so many takeaway, and you're saying to yourself a month later, "Holy Jesus, that's some keg belly on me. I'm not doing it anymore." You're still in the rough.
I've chucked it since the 2nd of January. I've not touched a drop since. That'll do me
Neither, but it's tempting though. It's
should see the cupboard I'm sitting next to, mate. It's full of drink, and I can't touch it.
I moved all my bevies like into our storeroom in the cellar, so I can't touch them. But one of them, I can't. It's hard, especially when you're watching watching Celtic play shite. You just think, I just need a bevy. I need a can or something just to fucking get me over that.
Definitely.
Right, look, I'll let you still go. I appreciate you coming on. I know we went a bit over time, but fuck it. But look, if any of you want to get in touch with me about Shea's album or Scott's album, I'll ask you one more question. Shea, what's your favourite song singing?
Favourite song to sing?
Republican song. Rebel song.
It's a hard one. It changes.
Don't say Grace, will you? Jeez, you know me and Grace. I can't stand Grace anymore.
Yeah, I'd probably say, if no one's heard, The Death Before Revenge is one of my favourite songs to sing. If no one's ever heard that, go and listen to that one. And also 90 Miles to Dublin, about the blanket protest. That's a good song as well. Good stuff. Scott, any particular song you love singing? It doesn't have to be.
My favourite song, and it's going to sound so.
Don't say yes, sir, like a boogie.
Oh no, it's going to sound so mainstream. But see singing the Fields of Athenry. You never see a place erupt until you do that tune. Like, everybody knows it. Everybody's want to stand on benches, want to stand on tables, want to fling their pints across the sky.
You've got a good point there. That song is just a crowd pleaser, isn't it?
That's a finisher. It's a finisher. Like,
the past 2 years, the best song that I've played at a gig though, like, it's not my favourite song to sing, but the best song that gets a reaction is "I Want to Be Adored," because I want to be Edouard, and I play it at a Celtic gig or something. The whole place goes mad for it, and I've never seen. Even people who don't support Celtic will just start singing it because it's just dead catchy.
Even people that's never seen the Stone Roses.
I was one of them that never even know the Stone Roses were until fucking 2 years ago. You know, we live in a fucking mad circle of music. Obviously, love Oasis.
You still listen to Bewitched and Boyzone. That's what you're still doing.
That's it. Big Ronan, you know. Right, look, I'll let this go. It's good having this on. Big crack. I'm gonna try get musicians on every week. You know, I'm gonna try get El Scouse Catty on for the laugh. See what she has an input of Celtic. She loves Celtic. But it's good to have obviously different accents on and different nationalities. But Scott, if I don't get you on before the Euros, I wish you good luck in the Euros.
Oh,
I'd be shouting for you. You know,
Me
that fucking
and Ryan Christie.
you and Stewie Armstrong. You mean?
That's
You know,
it.
you're fucking.
If some of these Scottish players have a good Euros, they'll go for more money as well.
I know. Definitely.
That's it.
Get Turnbull in
That's
that team.
That's it. If he doesn't get picked for the Scotland squad, the senior Scotland squad, it'd be fucking mayhem.
He'll get in there, I think, mate.
Like he has the qualities. I don't know if you've seen the Motherwell documentary done of him coming back from the injury. Fucking deadly.
Yeah.
Deadly.
Yeah, I saw it as well. Yeah, he's some attitude on the lads as well. Like, can tell he's a hard worker. Like,
That's a good comeback.
And he's. Do you know what? If it came to the case if McGregor was off in the summer, I would say, and if obviously Oyer's going to be off, even though I want to keep Oyer, as I said, I'd put the money on that Oyer to stay for another season and get more money if we qualify for Europe. Turnbull, I'll give him the captaincy there and then because look, I know it's a different level from Motherwell to Celtic, but he has the qualities. Like he has the qualities to be a good captain for Celtic.
Too early for that, man.
yeah, I think it's a bit too early. I think
Some people,
you know,
some people are saying he's going to be the next Paul McStay.
The next Paul McStay's still sitting in the middle of the park for us, man. Cal McGregor, telling you that now.
I can't lose McGregor. He's the most solid player that we have, and the man doesn't get injured. Like even when the people were out with COVID, I went to my dad. Bet you McGregor's not out.
It's indestructible.
Honestly, he doesn't get that man's just the perfect specimen. Nothing ever bad happens to him. I've jinxed it now. He's got a broken leg.
But see, folk were talking about Tierney when Tierney was here, and they were saying about, he's going to be the next Paul McStay, staying for all these years. It'll be a one-man club. I know McGregor went and won to Notts County, but I can see McGregor finishing his career like McStay done at Celtic. Obviously, there's a different level. McStay was totally a brilliant player, totally a better player than McGregor, but McGregor's not a bad player to keep for the rest of his career if he stays.
100%. And he knows the club inside out. He
speaks well in his press conferences and stuff like that as well.
Last week he was the first one to the camera. Every time I've had a bad result, he's been first to the camera, first to take the interview. He's ready to take the flak. Lennon was sitting in the changing room.
That was another thing that fucking pissed me off that last week. Was Lennon refused? Well, he did eventually talk, but like you're the manager of the club. Give the fans your reaction to the game. Like it's like you may be pissed off, but that's what you've got to do as the Celtic manager. And it's not like it's Sky Sports. It's our own bloody.
It's your own questions.
Do you know what's funny? I don't think a lot of Celtic fans, if things went back to normal now tomorrow, I don't think a lot of people would want to get a picture of Neil Lennon at this rate. They'd be fucking giving him F's and diffs, even though what he's done at the club as a player, a captain, a coach. You know, unreal.
Give him a year. After he's away, give it a year. That'll be forgotten about.
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
He'll be remembered for all the games he's played in the shirt.
I don't know about that. Some people are stubborn. You know, people like holding on to the past. You know, look, some people still hate Rodgers.
I am one of them. I still don't like him.
Is he down as the rat in your terms, a snake, or?
He my view on it is that he could have easily stayed till the end of the season and then left and Leicester were not winning the league and they weren't going to get relegated. They were mid-table at the time. There's no there was no reason for him to leave other than the fact he just wanted out the door as quick as possible. Like
they wanted the money, I think.
The money as well, yeah. Like he could have just stayed, and you know what? That would have been the treble. That's he could have been seen as a legend when he left.
Definitely.
He's not.
The big man was talking about the statue. Keith was talking about the statue of Scott Brown. You'd have had a statue of Brendan Rodgers if he won the treble.
100%. 100%.
Crazy. He done wonders with Celtic though. You can't fault.
No one's denying that. I just think
it's the way it does it.
Yeah.
It should have been done the way like Gordon Strachan done it or Martin O'Neill done it. Come out a couple of months before and say I'm leaving.
Yeah, if Leicester were, I'd understand if Leicester were fighting for first or if doing a relegation battle, I'd sort of understand because he's got to go in and do a job with them.
Mm-hmm.
We're like 7th or something in the league, and there was nothing he could have done to change.
They weren't even fighting for Champions League football, like.
No, they weren't, and it's like he could have waited till the end of the season, finished his job at Celtic, and then every fan would have wished him the best. You know what I mean? Every single fan. He fell out with all his family and everything because of it. You know what I mean? That says a lot
Rightfully
Maybe.
so.
I know it's crazy. It's crazy to think at the start of the season we were saying to each other, "Oh, would you take him back for the celebration ceremony?" There's no celebration. We don't have to worry about that stress now.
I tell you what,
I would have taken
that over talking about what we're talking about now. I tell you that now. I'd rather be talking about Rodgers coming back for the 10. Jesus Christ. Sitting here in some mess.
Actually, depressed.
It just came to a case where we took every team for granted this season. Every team.
Even the likes of San. I know everyone was happy with Duffy coming in, but oh my God, he's been a disaster. An absolute disaster. And I do feel sorry for him a bit as well, but at the same time, I know he lost his dad and stuff, and that was a big thing on his mental health and how he acted and stuff, but as a professional footballer, he should have turned around to Lennon and went, my head's just not in it. I can't be playing these games like this because I just don't know. It's some of Lennon's signings are questionable anyway. And that's another thing with sorry again, but with the likes of Turnbull and Sorrow, they must have been performing in training.
100%.
Imagine keeping them out. They come in and completely change the whole dynamic of the team, and he kept them out for all season, and we went 12 games, but he didn't change the team. That shows why Lennon should go as well. Doesn't have a clue.
See the thing about Duffy there. See the likes of the fact that he wasn't performing at the standard I've seen him performing at before. If he should have took him at the team, then he should have given him maybe one game a rest. He should have left him out for 4 or 5 and then let his confidence get back up. I think that's what's.
Do you know what I think it was, Scott? I think it's because we're desperate at the back. We had no other option to keep him in there.
The only other option we've got there, we're flinging in a centre mid at centre half. We keep putting Beaton in. As Shea says, the guy's a charlatan. He's been there stealing a wage for God knows how many years as well.
Honestly, everyone's still living off his fucking wonder goal 5 years ago.
Unbelievable.
I pulled up today, I did.
I remember his debut. I don't know about yours, but was it against Ajax?
He got sent off.
He got sent off.
It was against Barcelona, yeah, I remember that.
Barca, aye. Yeah. He just started swinging the boot.
He got sent off in, I think it was like 2 minutes or something.
Great signing.
He was never Kyle. Kyle was a man. I loved Kyle.
I loved Kyle as well. I don't know why we got rid of him.
He was a battler, That's what we've kind of missed that.
Yeah, just someone like Sorrow's probably similar in that regard. Like he'll go and try and win the ball and stuff. But obviously Sorrow's still only 22 as well. He's still got a lot of growing to do and how he's playing and stuff.
Because the last time we signed someone from the Ivory Coast, besides Boyo, was fucking, what's his name? Abui Kouassi, and look what happened with him. He was a shambles. He was an absolute shambles.
There's no many folk I know that have played on with. Was it his ACL that he had done? No, what did he played on for the first half of that game? Did they know? The
Hearts game, yeah. The cup semi-finals in Murrayfield. It was. That's when Christie's got a cracker. Absolute belter.
That's when he made his name, aye.
Yeah.
It was
that's Bio as well. They signed up Bio. He's done that and sent him off on loan to Toulouse.
The only thing he'll be remembered for is your man, the pitch announcer, going, number 10, Bio. That's the only thing he'll be remembered for the rest of his career.
Even likes of them Americans we signed as well, that Manny Perez and Gutman. What the fuck? What's the point in that?
Big Gunter.
They're still playing with the university teams across America.
What was the point in signing them? I was like, what's the point in that? That doesn't make more signings for the home women's team now at the minute as well. See, the women's team signed like 4 players yesterday. You know what I mean?
I'm thinking about changing my season ticket to go and watch the women. They look like they're actually doing it right.
They are,
see the one that signed from West Ham. Holy Jesus. There's a picture on Instagram, the bleeding Gary Hooper. I'm like, oh my God, Jesus Christ. But the likes of obviously Gunnar and Manny Perez, like the 2 lads, not to be seen. They played a couple of developing.
That Gutman's playing in the MLS, and everyone's raving about him. Like the team he's playing for and stuff like that. Everyone's saying he's a great player, but he can't get a permit to come and play in Scotland.
That's big storage. Big storage running amok.
See, if you're talking about buying players that you're not going to play, you've got the lad Luke O'Connell. We bought him in. I think that guy only came because
Justin Bieber.
I think that was just to build up the skills. Aye.
From Liverpool, yeah. And at Bolton, all the Bolton fans were gutted he went because everyone was saying he was tipped to be a world-class player.
So what's happened to him in that space of time? Lennon's obviously not making him progress in his career.
Like, look, you've got to look like the likes that now. Surely he should be playing more of these young players in these games because the league's gone.
Like Karamoko, like everyone talks about Karamoko. What's your input on that, Shea?
Oh, with Karamoko, I think there's glimpses, isn't it? Every time he's played, he looks like he's got something there. But no one's given him a chance, and he's going to leave as well.
Is he going to be like a John McGinn shambles? I know he's obviously at the club, but is he one that got away that could have helped us domestically success?
Not the new, but he could build up to it. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, he could do in the future, but it's one of them. And like them two lads we lost to Bayern Munich as well. What would you like, 15, 16?
One of them just stays on the road for me. Well,
yeah, and then fucking that Liam Hughes goalkeeper went to Liverpool. We're losing all these young players. Like,
yeah, because they put the lads on furlough. That's why.
I know.
You've got the lad Harper as well. He's signing a 6-month deal. He's signing another deal somewhere else. Or meant to be.
We're losing all this youth, all these talent, like, tip talents, and it's shambles. I don't know how it's happening.
It's a disaster. It's down to like Lawwell and stuff like that are not putting the effort in to actually care about these boys. Like they promise them.
You don't know if the boys are good enough either. Like, to be fair, obviously the boys that went to Bayern Munich, that's a different story. Bayern Munich chapter door. The majority of people going to Bayern Munich at that age. Look at what they can progress into for their own.
I still think we should have got Aaron Hickey back before he went to Bologna. I still think we should have got him.
How's he doing over there? Because I haven't heard anything of him.
He got COVID and all. He did. When he played in the cup final, he was actually in bits with COVID. He was doing his interview for BBC, but he's doing all right. Like Bologna is not near stature of Celtic, never will be. But they go to
we were even linked with that Josh Deutsch as well, weren't we, from Hibs, who's tipped to be another like talent as well. We're constantly getting linked with all these talents in Scotland, aren't we? And then just never acting upon them, and then they go off and do better in different clubs.
It's as if the news are actually doing the scouting for Celtic at times. So it's as if we've not even got our own network. See, when you're going and getting the guy Barkas, right? And realistically, the reason we've went and got him is because he's played well against us. There's bound to be another list of 10 goalkeepers that were out there for realistically the same amount of money that you could have had a look at. I
was saying taking Joe Hart at the time. Why not? Like,
yeah, I would Joe Hart as well. But I would have kept Gordon. I really would have. I think he still could have offered something. I would have kept him for the 10 and then let him go off then. But he's like, there was a whole thing about his contract and stuff that Celtic weren't paying enough. How the fuck are Hearts out paying us for Gordon?
You wonder if it's an ego thing with that though, yeah? Well, I do anyway.
Could be, but I think obviously he's not a great all-round goalkeeper, but he's some shot stopper. Some of the saves he's pulled off over the years.
That triple save against Rangers in the Scottish Cup semi-final, unreal. Even that save against Morelos with the shin, that was one of the best saves I've ever seen.
Yeah, and he's done that for years. Like, hard to forget how long he's actually been at Celtic.
And we got him for free as well. Like, he was injured, and then obviously he was training with Rangers, and then we took him.
Yeah, he was a 10 million. Well, at the time, he signed for Sunderland, wasn't it? For like 10 million from Hearts, and then he got injured and he was out for a few years or something.
I think he got the save of the season that season in the Premier League.
Sunderland, aye.
The save against Bolton, I think it was.
Yeah. I mean, I was made up when we signed him as well, and I'm made up we did because I mean, obviously he's made mistakes, but all goalkeepers do. But he's one of the best shot stoppers I've seen probably in the past 10 years, other than Forster probably.
The only thing Gordon didn't have was, like kicking the ball. He was a disaster. He was always against Hearts. He was terrible against Hearts. I know it was his former club, but Tynecastle, it was just a disaster. Every time having him in nets.
I just remember him come spearing out as well as his box. He comes spears out and spears someone on the halfway line.
What about the one in Europe? He came out to get the ball and he left the boy with a tap.
Oh, Shaqiri.
Right.
That was against Ajax, wasn't it? Was it?
One of
was
the
against
Red
Inter.
Bull teams.
Inter, it was against Inter Milan. It was his 3-all game in Parquet. He came out to get the ball and went past him, and Shea slotted in.
It's mad that.
But he pulled. But you know what? A lot of people forget he pulled off one of the best saves I've ever seen at the end of that game.
See, shot stopping is one of the best I've ever seen. See, coming for a cross. I don't think I've seen him coming for a cross since his injury.
Honestly, and none of our keepers can come for a fucking cross either.
Connor Hazard. I know he's obviously young and he's a lot to learn, but like, holy God, he's terrible at coming for crosses.
I feel sorry for him as well, because all he's been doing is playing against development players for the size of his youth career. Like, he's not playing against men. You're flinging him into the Celtic team, and every time that the opposition's got a corner, there's always somebody on him, somebody that's going to be a bit menacing to him. Obviously, he needs to learn to deal with it. Yeah. But he's never had to deal with that in the full time he's been coming through.
Well, we give him the praise. He's got 4 clean sheets in the senior team, so that's an achievement in itself. Like winning in the penalty shootout against Hearts as well. Hearts were a good team that day. Like they should have beaten us.
Definitely. Hearts never bought the boy. Signed the boy Kingsley that was at Hull and Swansea. How were they able to sign him to play in the Championship in Scotland? It's money. They've been spending loads of money in the league. So apparently they've still got the 4th highest budget in Scotland.
Big budge.
Big budge with a big budget.
That's it. Big budge.
Like, now it's about making the Scottish League more attractive as well. Like, the likes of Kilmarnock and Livingston with these plastic pitches, they need to fucking sort it out, because it's not like when we were watching the game tonight. Looking at that pitch, it just looks amateur. You know what I mean? And that's a big concern to me. And obviously, with players getting injured on it, I was surprised tonight that we actually played well on that pitch. Yeah, really surprised.
Compared to what we done in Livingston 2 weeks ago, it was actually like snow, mental, absolutely mental. But lads, I'll let you go. It's been a good an hour and 20 minutes chatting. So lads, if you want to get on and actually buy Shea's album or Scott's album, drop me a message on any of the platforms. I'll get you in touch with them. I'll put a URL in for the both albums. But it's good having you on. It's good to actually get a bit of football and a bit of banter going on.
Nice one for that.
At least it wasn't a negative result for a change.
Just their attitudes were negative.
Because to be honest with you, I was saying to myself tonight, wait and see, these 2 boys will come on and I'd be just pelters getting dashed about how shit we were. But we actually played well.
We did. I couldn't fault the performance at all. Couldn't. Every player on the pitch played well.
Your figures will be done. When we play well, nobody wants to watch.
Well, we have 42 people watching, so it's not too bad considering the type of the night it is. So, right, leave us to it. Take care, lads. And lads, I'll be back tomorrow night myself. So we'll be back tomorrow night, hopefully. If not, I'll be back on Friday night to do a podcast. So it's great having you all in, and take care. Have a good night. All the very best. Hail, hail.